Okay, what do you think's a good intro?
Welcome to Chaotically Bookish, where and fuck. Hello. Welcome to Chaotically Bookish. This is episode 1 where Ashley and Annabelle, two disaster bisexuals, talk to each other about books and rant. My name is Annabelle.
My name is Ashley.
And welcome.
I just realized something really funny. My friends and family are gonna listen to this.
Yeah.
I just out to them.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, so if my family ever looked up my name, they will now know that I'm gay.
Great. So I came out to my boyfriend raging drunk. I came out to you wearing a hat that said titties. And I just came out to my family on a very chaotic book podcast.
That is the most perfect way to come out to anyone.
I haven't had a normal one.
I don't think I've come out to anyone. I think I just told you. I was just like, hey,
gay.
you know Linnea, my weird friend that I like have everywhere with me? You know, the one that's very obviously in love with me? We're dating now. And you're like, that's great.
I didn't even blink. I was like, it's not coming, but go on.
All right, should we start?
We should start. So this month, because it is the month of love, we thought we would focus. You're in a solid relationship. You're engaged. And you just gagged.
Oh yeah, fuck love.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, since it's the month of love. Oh Jesus. We thought we would talk about romance books, something neither of us know much about. Honestly,
I know absolutely nothing about romance books except for the fact that I have read maybe 2.
Like of all the bookshelves I have, just one bookshelf, and only half of it are romance books. Not even. Like,
so we're incredibly qualified to talk about this.
Qualified to talk about this. We know everything there is to know.
We know everything there is to know about this.
What's the last romance book you read?
Ooh, I'm currently reading People We Met on Vacation.
How's that?
Ooh. But that's my opinion about all romance books. So I feel like I need someone to educate me about romance because I have the exact same opinions about every single goddamn romance book. And I feel like a piece of shit for having those opinions because I watched this TikTok, which is the start of every good conversation.
I saw this TikTok.
So this girl was talking about how people talk shit about romance. But when you ask them what their favorite book is, and you ask them what the favorite part of that book is, it's always the romance. And I am so fucking guilty of that. Because like, okay, you know, Six of Crows is my fucking whole identity.
Yes, I'm aware.
And if anyone asked me, oh, like, what's your favorite part of the book? Dude, Kaz and Inej have me by the dick and balls. Like, come on. Like, yes, I love the heist and the intelligence and blah, blah, blah. But like the love story is kind of like a huge deal for me. But then when it comes to romance books, I'm always like, it was so one-dimensional and like there was no plot.
Yeah, because there's a big difference between a romance book and a book with romance in it.
Exactly.
Because a romance book, the plot is the romance.
Okay, dude, there are so many books that get categorized as romance that are not fucking romance.
Do not fucking get me started. So, you know how, like, Colleen Hoover?
Yeah.
Like, romance and thriller queen.
Yes.
So, you know the book It Ends With Us?
Yeah.
Okay. That got advertised to me on TikTok as a romance book. It is not a romance book. It's a book about domestic violence. Do you know
what a bummer that is when you go into a book being like, oh, it's just going to be cute and a palate cleanser, and then there's fucking dark drama.
Jesus. People like Team Edward and Team Jacob that book. They're like, oh, are you Team Ryle or are you Team Atlas? And I'm like, if anyone's Team Ryle, you need to see a therapist.
It's the same thing with the Hunger Games. If anyone's Team Gale, please go get yourself a therapist.
That needs to get checked on. That is not good.
I understand that Liam Hemsworth is attractive, but he is a dude bro and will leave your ass.
He blew up a child.
He straight up killed her sister.
Just for what?
It's the same thing with freaking Cruel Prince.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Carden and Jude. Oh my God, Carden and Jude. And hey, guys, I'm part of this whole Carden and Jude thing. I would let him take that tail and wrap it around my neck.
No, not the tail.
But that book is not about romance. He is barely in those books. It is about Jude being a bad bitch.
Amen.
And being political as fuck. Like,
but no one talks about that.
No.
It's the romance.
Because that's the selling point. Mm-hmm. The selling point is the romance. So that's why I feel like romance books get a bad rep.
100%.
Because people are expecting something completely different. And they're like, wait, the whole book is about the romance? And it's like, yeah, it's a romance book.
And then when there's books that like don't have romance in them, like none, like I'm trying to think of one now, but I can't. But like there's like
the Devabad trilogy, like City of Brass and stuff, like literally someone was just like, I had to DNF it. There's no romance. And I'm like, it's a fantasy. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's just a bummer. It's a huge bummer. I feel like romance readers get a bad rep. They're not considered readers, which I think is such fucking bullshit.
I think anyone that picks on anyone for what they read is bullshit.
Straight up.
You're a reader if you read.
You're a misogynist.
Gee, shut up.
Shut up, Kyle.
Fuck.
Step the fuck down.
Step the fuck up, Kyle.
No, it's just, I wish someone could educate me about romance. Like, explain to me the appeal of it, because I will always go into it with an open mind, because I'm kind of like, okay, like especially, you know, like romance has this like very stereotypical book cover. Yes. The cartoon, the bright colors, the big font.
Or like a bare-chested man.
Yeah, exactly. And like maybe some titties, you know, some animated titties.
The best kind. Go off.
But like, it's very much reminiscent of a romantic comedy film. So that's kind of what I'm going into the book expecting. Mm-hmm. And then there's just this full-on chapter of fucking raw dogging it. And it really throws me off because I expect romantic comedy, you know, not X-rated. But I'm a prude when it comes to reading.
I know.
And you're not.
I don't.
You're a filthy whore.
Get into that. But that also, like, that's another argument. Like, so romance and then, like, smut.
Yeah, there's a difference.
There is a very big difference. Because there's some, like, smutty books. People are like, yes, that relationship's so romantic. And I was like, there was nothing romantic about that.
Any of those, like, Katie Roberts books.
Oh, Lord.
I needed to bathe myself in holy water.
I need to touch some grass and like confess to him.
And then people are like, it's so romantic.
No.
Dude, what?
No.
Spoilers for those who love, who want to read Neon Gods. He fucks her on a stage like 90% of the book, ma'am.
And it's political. It's not romantic.
I know. It's not romantic.
They're all political. Like I've read Desperate Measures and learned my lesson.
Did you enjoy Desperate Measures? Because I could not. I audiobooked it. That was mistake number one.
You always audiobook smut, and it's questionable. I couldn't do it.
I'm a busy woman, okay? I work a 9-to-5 job. I can only audiobook.
You're like in a meeting, but you're not really paying attention.
I mute my Zoom calls, and I've got smut blasting.
They're like, Annabelle, can you please mute your mic?
Straight up story time.
Oh God.
I was in a meeting with our city's like director of the place I work, and I had muted myself and I was listening to fucking smut. And they asked me a question, I wasn't paying attention, and then like they're like, Annabelle, can you please? And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. Unmuted myself, forgot to unmute the book, and it straight up said, and he rammed into me.
And they're like, all right, that's enough.
Straight up, I absolutely had to fake technical difficulties and get the fuck out of that meeting.
I would have quit my job. I would not have stayed.
It was a bit of a joke for like a week, and then people moved on because, you know, worse things have happened.
I would kill myself. I could not.
But, you know, going back to romance.
Anyways,
going back to romance
smug and romance are not the same thing, clearly.
What is a romance trope that you fucking hate?
All of them.
The pregnancy trope, the miscommunication trope.
Insta love.
Fuck that shit. No one's fallen in love with each other.
No one blinks and is like, yeah. Like, the whole love at first sight thing, that's sweet.
I hated my partner when I first met them. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, well.
You're like, no, I did not hate Nick.
I did not hate Nick. No, we were friends.
We were friends too, but like, she made questions.
Did you hate everyone?
I hated you.
You blink and we're doing a podcast together. I can't.
Story time. Me and Ashley used to work at a place called Schmizni.
Not to name names. It rhymes with Schmizni.
Yeah, and our boss named Schmicky Schmausch. And we worked in retail, and she didn't do jack shit.
Oh my god, it was my first job.
She sat at the till and watched the projections while we were working our fucking asses off.
I have ADHD, and they were pretty.
Ma'am, and then the manager came by and was like, oh my god, you guys did such a good job. And I went, no. She did nothing.
So mean. And then we had ice cream.
Yeah, and then we had ice cream and talked about books and literally became soulmates.
Oh, yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah, and the rest was history.
The rest is history.
Anyway, so yeah.
Back to tropes that we hate.
So this is my problem with the romance genre. I feel like we're just shitting on it right now. Okay,
probably. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, there's literally nothing wrong with it.
It's fine.
I have read romance books that I fucking love.
It's just mostly not for us. We're very fantasy people.
I'm just a huge fucking stereotypical nerd, and I need elves, man. I need elves and dwarves and made up languages.
There isn't a fucking hobbit. She's out.
Exactly. Give me those hairy feet.
I think maybe that's why I don't read romance, though. It's the aggressive amount of tropes that I just don't like. And you find those tropes in fantasy. You really do.
I feel like the genre kind of relies on the tropes because like that's how they sell them because they're so short.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them that like there's a marketing thing. Like fantasy has their marketing thing, enemies to lovers, blah, 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 you know?
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like the whole book is really like based around that one trope.
Yes.
And that's what really kills it for me. And I feel like also because these are like one-off books, they don't really flesh out their characters.
No.
I'm going to say something controversial.
Uh-oh.
Usually the people of color are really one note. And that's a huge bummer. And I want to start reading more diverse romance written by people of color, written by LGBTQ authors. Maybe I'll like it a little more, you know?
Maybe.
I hope so.
Have you ever read a romance series?
No.
I haven't either.
Wait, I think I have.
Oh, which one?
But I don't know if it's considered fantasy. Have you ever heard of Fae Fever?
No.
Dark Fever?
No.
Okay, so they're written by an author called Karen Marie Moaning. Yeah, I think that's her name. Moaning. And there was this, it was like a fantasy romance series that I read a couple years ago, maybe like 10 years ago. And it's about this girl whose sister dies. Oh, I don't know if she's dead. She's missing.
She's out of the picture.
She's not here right now. She cannot answer to the phone.
Why? Oh, because she's dead.
Oh. No, so her sister is missing. She went on a sabbatical to Ireland. And this girl, the main girl, I can't remember her name, but I remember that she wore juicy couture sweatpants that had juicy printed on the ass.
Jesus.
And she goes to Ireland and there's fairies and there's werewolves, I think. And it's smutty, but it was a series and I was kind of into it, but I don't think I could do it again. I was in a very particular mood.
I don't think I could do a romance series. like I every once in a while I like the one-off, especially like in between really heavy fantasy series. It's great to like throw like a Colleen Hoover book in between.
Yeah, see, I gotta get on the Colleen Hoover train, man. I gotta get on that train.
You really, really do. You do.
Everyone's insane about her.
I'd be very interested to see what you think of her books. Like I really like Ugly Love. I think of any romance novel that I could think off the top of my head.
Is it full on romance or is it more contemporary?
The
like contemporary
focus
fiction
is really her relationship with the love interest.
Okay.
Pretty much. Like she's got her own thing going on. Like she's trying to put herself through school and everything. But it's like a friends with benefits trope.
Interesting.
Yeah. But there's the argument that a lot of people make, which I think is a very good one. Like I gave this book 5 stars. I enjoyed it. But a lot of people make the point that women aren't meant to fix broken men. We're not made to fix broken men. And that's kind of how the book comes across. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's kind of how the book comes across. Because he's a very broken person and he's really suffered a lot. And she's the one that's kind of helping him piece back together.
Because that I need to know that.
Does it end happily?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Colleen Hoover.
Okay, good. Okay. That's my problem with like romance books. I'm like, you gotta end it good and happy and like with a bow, but don't you dare get that main girl pregnant. If there's a baby involved, I'm out. As someone who does not want children,
I'm not gonna name which Coho book has that, but you're gonna read it because I've asked you to.
Stephanie Meyer.
Not to name name.
All right. Okay. Moving on. I would really like to talk about my absolute hatred of Nicholas Sparks.
I've never read a Nicholas Sparks book.
Yes,
in my
but
life.
You've watched The Notebook, right?
I haven't seen The Notebook.
You haven't watched The.
It just doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in. I can barely sit through a movie that I like.
She also has never watched The Lord of the Rings, which personally offends me.
They're so long.
She also wasn't into Harry Potter until recently. She's not like other girls.
I'm not like other girls. I just don't like what's mainstream.
How Vancouver of you.
I thank you.
Okay, so part of the reason why I never got into romance was because Nicholas Sparks was kind of like, I'm a little older than you. Okay.
Not by much.
No, but I am a little. We're in different generations. I'm a millennial, guys. I'm chuggy as fuck.
Barely.
For everyone to know, I'm 26 and Ashley is 23. So we're 3 years apart. But
such a gap.
She is born in 98 and I'm born in 95. And I think that was a big gap.
You're a year off of Gen Z.
Dude, no.
A year.
No, I'm not part of that.
Barely that. You're 3 months off of Gen Z.
I'm not part of your Zoomer situation.
Oh my God.
I'm a millennial and I'm fucking proud of it.
Oh,
give me my BuzzFeed quizzes.
Congratulations, you're a millennial by 3 months. Okay, tell us.
Okay,
why
no,
you
but
hate
like
Nicholas
at least okay. So like I was in my teens when you were still.
When I was 12.
Yeah, exactly. I watched different things. So Nicholas Sparks was kind of like the big name in romance when I was getting back into reading. And when I was interested in romance, that was literally like the big thing. Like, oh, you want to read a romance book? Well, you better fucking read Dear John. And I read The Notebook and I read Dear John and oh my fucking God. Dude, I don't even know how to explain it to you, but romance should not be written by men.
Nothing
he keeps to this like very specific formula of like there's this A storyline and there's the B storyline, and the B storyline always for some reason happens in the past and in the 40s, and I don't know, he just like really glorifies the past and like old people relationships.
Weird.
And that just if you the 40s were not a time to be glorified. Segregation was a thing, guys. I don't know. I'm just like, his whole spiel, they just never appealed to me. He wrote love as this like insane end all be all fucking romantic shit, and I just never got into it, and I just couldn't get into it. It was just one note characters, no plot. It was bad, and it put a bad taste in my mouth, and I hate him.
You're not making me want to read this.
No, don't read it, please.
I had to double check, but the only Nicholas Sparks movie, I haven't read any of his books. The only movie I've seen was Safe Haven. Have you seen it or read the book?
Is it with Julianne Hough?
Yes.
I don't. I think I watched it. I think I did.
Yeah. I liked it.
Okay, moving on.
Because I like her.
You like her?
Yeah, she's pretty.
Ooh, she's a hard pass for me.
Everyone's a hard pass for you.
No one's a hard pass for me. I have a lot of people that are like A plus.
An A minus. No,
I just don't like the stereotypical pretty girl. I'm more into the weird, the creepy, like Eva Green and like Helena Bonham Carter. Those are my like. I like them weird. I like them freaky.
She likes wild women.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I never got into romance. I think the last song is Nicholas Sparks.
Is it?
I feel like it might be.
It totally has to be. It has to be.
I think
right?
it is. Yeah, I hate it.
It was
that
sad.
whole. It's giving vanilla ice cream to me, and I just don't want to be a part of that.
Vanilla ice cream.
The stories are always about white people. Let's be honest.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they just weren't written for me.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You have a reason. I don't have a good reason. I grew up reading like Goosebump books,
Hell yeah.
and maybe that's why I just don't. I've never read romance. Whenever my mom set me loose in a bookstore,
The only romance we have read is on fanfiction.net/Wattpad.
Whoop. And even those were some fantastical. Unless it was like a
I
Harry
wouldn't
Styles
even call those
fanfic.
romance. That's straight smut. Harry Styles was taking it all the ways.
Oh, God. I miss those every day.
They were good times. They were good times. But speaking of, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite romance book?
No.
No.
No. Like, again, like I name Ugly Love because I don't read romance books. And even then, like, it's not necessarily like my favorite book.
No, I just feel like they're not giving what they're supposed to give.
Like for us, yeah.
For
absolutely.
us, yeah.
'Cause, like, I know people that are like so in love with romance books. And it's like, I get it because they make you feel like happy. But I don't know. I guess I've read fantasy and like really just in-depth books for so long that I just don't.
Yeah, because like you really like fantasy romance.
Yeah,
you're
I love
not,
fantasy
You're not
romance.
so much into just contemporary romance.
I mean, I'll read
Because
it
I'm
for
like,
sure,
I don't know.
but-
Would you consider From Blood and Ash a romance book?
See, I was thinking about this earlier today. And again, it goes back to what's a romance book and what's a book with romance in it. Because
I would say, this might be, you might disagree with me, but I would say that From Blood and Ash is a fantasy romance book.
I would too, because the romance plays a really big part.
It's kind of the whole
However,
point, yeah.
The plot isn't the romance.
No, but the plot is more like, okay.
The first book,
Bringing up
definitely.
a book that
but-
I swore I wouldn't bring up.
Oh no, you're not going to do it.
Akatar
Okay.
is a fantasy romance,
Yeah.
right? Because there is a plot, but
It's the romance that you
it's
come
the romance that's the whole point of, like, you're not picking up Akatar to be like, what happens to the King of Hybern? I really gotta
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Like, well, like even like Kingdom of the Wicked.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
do you read that because you're curious what happened to her sister? No, you read it because
I
of
mean,
wrath. Go ahead.
I'm really into that book because I love the whole demons, and that's really interesting
cool
to
concept.
me. And I feel like that's why a lot of people didn't like Kingdom of the Curse, because they were upset that there wasn't more romance in it.
Maybe. I'm trying to think of, like, I didn't enjoy it. Not the way that I enjoyed the first book, but it was mostly
Because the first book barely had anything. It was
Yeah.
YA, wasn't it?
it was very, yeah, it was YA. Like, they
Yeah.
make out, but
Yeah.
that's it.
There's nothing.
But there's really nothing. Whereas Kingdom of the Cursed is super smutty.
But it's not, though.
It isn't like I thought it was going to be the way it was advertised. I thought it was going to be like From Blood and Ash. I thought
She was saying that it was going to be nasty. She's like, it's NA. There's going to be like explicit scenes. And I'm like, dude, barely anything happens. And you're not very descriptive. Like, I feel like if we're comparing it to From Blood and Ash, or we're comparing it to like other smutty books, it's not. Like, it's very tame.
It's pretty tame. Definitely.
And I'm okay with that. That's my level of smut that I can handle.
I do wonder, though, if Kingdom of the Feared is going to be pretty smutty, because did you read the description? No. It literally says, like, Amelia's curious about... Well, okay, I'm not going to spoil. There's no spoiler. She's just curious about this mission that she has to go on. But what she wants to do is claim her king.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, okay, so what you're saying is it's all smut.
It's going to be all smut. I mean, I think it is. It's the last book, and I think she definitely heard the feedback.
Yeah, I think so too.
That people were not happy that there wasn't enough Wrath and Amelia time.
Maybe. I think my issue with that whole book in general wasn't the lack of romance. It's just that the romance was needed to further the plot, and things just kept coming to a standstill.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I think it is categorized as a fantasy romance, and therefore the whole point of the book is the romance. It's the relationship between the two main characters, and to not put that in there, like to have a whole part of the book where she's not even around him, big bummer.
So compare Kingdom of the Wicked to like Six of Crows.
It's
not a fantasy romance.
That's not a romance.
There's romance in it.
But even then, I remember so I read Six of Crows to my fiance, and she knows how much I like hype up fucking Kaz and Inej and Nina, Matthias, and Wylan and Jesper. I'm like, oh my god, like, and I would go off. So she really wanted to know about it. So I read her the book, and she's just like, dude, what romance? Like, she loved it.
You have
and
to
like
read between the lines.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, that's the thing, that you cannot even slightly say that those books are romantic in any sort of way. No. Same thing with like Shadow and Bone, or I can't think of anything else. But to see, Twilight is a fantasy romance. That's because the whole point of that. You're not trying to find out what's going on with Charlie.
No one cares about the Volturi. What it comes down to.
I mean, I think they really desexified the Volturi in the movie. Yes, as much as I love Michael Sheen, and I would, he is on my list.
I love him so much.
He is hot. I don't care. But like, they really desexified that man. He looking all kinds of fucked up.
Why they had to do his forehead like that?
Why they had to give him that weird laugh? I remember so when did you start reading? Oh fuck,
Twilight?
The Twilight thing. Yeah, when did you start reading Twilight?
I was very young. I was like 11 or 12.
Was it before the movies came out?
Yes.
Okay, so I remember when they were doing the fan casting for New Moon. Like, the film had just come out, and people were like, oh my god, we're getting New Moon. And they were casting the Volturi, like fan casting them. And literally, book talk and book people in general's favorite person, Ben Barnes.
For who? For
Aro.
Why?
I mean, dude, literally any description of pale man with long dark hair, that was fucking Ben Barnes. There was no other question.
I feel like he would have been too young, especially when the movies were coming out.
Well, like, they're vampires, right? I never expected the Volturi to look old.
I think I did. Really? I can't remember now, because now when I read the books, I just see the frickin' movies in my head. But No, but see, this is the thing. When I remember when Twilight came out, and they said that like Peter Facinelli was going to be Carlisle, and what's her name? Elizabeth Reeser was going to be Esme. I'm like, they're way too old. Because Esme is supposed to be my age. She's 26. Yeah,
and Carlisle's 23. And I'm like, that man's a whole 45. But, getting off our Twilight. We could talk about Twilight for fucking hours. But
come home.
Going back to romance, I feel like if we're talking about romance, I don't mind fantasy romance because it adds an extra element for me to be interested in. Whereas like contemporary fiction romance just doesn't keep my attention as much because it's too real. You know, like I know the main guy.
You know what? That's it. That's 100% it. I don't read romance and I don't read contemporary, and here's why. It's just too realistic.
Yeah.
I read fantasy and I enjoy fantasy romance because it takes me out of the world that
exactly.
I'm in.
A man like Castile does not exist in our world, and that is a fucking bummer. But like, I don't know, what's the main guy's name in? So I read Love Hypothesis. Adam. That guy, I've seen him on the street like every other day. Like,
yeah,
it's just, it doesn't, I can't be in love with these people because they're too real.
Exactly. Like, I think, like, I love It Ends With Us, not a romance. There's romance in it. Clarifying again.
Very important distinction.
Very passionate about that. However, wait, what was my point here? Oh, Ryle and like Atlas and all these characters, they're just very realistic. And that's what's kind of alarming in a way.
Yeah,
like
it's a
these
bummer.
men that do these bad things, these people that do these bad things exist.
Yeah.
And just these people that are just regular people, they exist.
Yeah, I know. That's my problem with that. Like when I read, not the Love Hypothesis, but like if I read like romance in general, like, you know, there's always the conflict moment where like the guy fucks up or the girl fucks up and they cheat or something. And I'm like, well,
It's the climax of the
leave
novel.
them.
Yeah.
It's too real. I can't imagine not leaving that person and not just immediately thinking they're a terrible human being. Whereas in a fantasy setting, it's usually something like absolutely ludicrous. Like he has a blood oath to his father and he had to leave her.
This is a 14-year-old girl who must save the world.
Exactly. They have magical powers. They can't be tied down by boys. So, in conclusion, the romance genre is just it's just not for us.
It's not for us.
It's not for
Fantasy
us.
romance. That's for us.
Exactly.
That's about it. Yeah.
But, you know, we should move on to our fun little, you know, just to make this a little more fun. We're not just shitting on the romance genre. We thought we'd play a fun little game of Buy Panic.
Smash or pass.
Smash or pass. So, you know, Ash and me are both two raging disaster bisexuals.
You hear that, Mom?
We watch movies and we are equally confused and horny. So the upcoming Batman movie, that's going to be a problem.
God. When does that release?
In March.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Dude, I'm so excited. You have no question.
Eddie boy.
Eddie Boy and Miss Zoe Kravitz.
Oh my God.
Oh, dream girl. All right. So the first contestants on Buy Panic, Smash or Pass, we find both characters equally attractive physically. But
like, which
who
would you
would
like,
we
fuck,
pass
marry,
on?
kill?
Who
Yeah.
would we pass on? Okay, I'm going to bring it to the table. We've already talked about them today. Wrath and Amelia. I know your answer immediately.
You know my answer immediately. I would push Amelia off a fucking cliff to get to Wrath.
You know what?
Mark me with a tattoo any day, sir.
I'm going to pass on Wrath.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm going to pass on. I don't know. I don't like the idea that his name is Wrath, first of all. I can't handle anger. No.
I can.
No, I'm passing on him. I like Amelia. I think she's cute. She'd cook me food. She'd make me Nona's recipes.
Cannolis.
I want cannolis. Dude, I want me a cute little cottagecore wife. I'm passing on Wrath.
Wow,
He probably can't even cook. All he drinks is stupid demon wine.
Down. Don't know what's wrong with that, but
All right, that was a pretty easy one. Let's move on to the crows.
fuck.
Okay, we're going to start off.
That's hard. Okay.
This is too hard for me. This is going to be too hard for
hard.
me. Okay, we're going to start off. Let's start off a little easier.
Okay.
Let's do Nina and Matthias.
I'd take Nina.
I take Nina too. I take Nina because Matthias is grumbly.
He's just so grumpy.
He's just tall and upset.
He's a grumpy pants. No one wants a grumpy pants.
No one wants a grumpy man. So we're going to move on with
Nina.
Nina.
Queen.
Yeah. She's badass.
She's badass.
She eats. She would not judge me for eating.
Oh my God, the amount of waffles I could eat with her.
Exactly. And she's funny,
She's so funny.
vivacious. We love Nina. Okay. Wylan and Jesper.
Don't make me
I'm
choose.
yeeting Wylan
My
off the
two
cliff.
dads.
Bye, Wylan.
No, I would also yeet Wyland because Jesper's Jesper.
No, but I don't. Wait, is Wylan canonically gay or is he bisexual?
I'm not sure.
I think he's gay.
I think he's just gay.
He's just gay. He's one of them normies.
He's just one of them normies. Yeah.
No,
so
I
guess by default,
think Jesper. Though Wylan and me, I think, are closer in personality type.
Wyland's so sweet. Like, he's just a little.
I know, and
but
he's
also like a
him and his
sassy little
flute.
boy. Him and his little flute.
And his little flute, he'd play me a
what's Jesper
flute, and
gonna
I'd
do?
play
Just-
him a jig on the violin, you know?
Wyland plays your flute. Jesper just shoots things. I'd still pick Jesper though.
You pick Jesper?
I would. He's so sarcastic and funny. Like,
Okay, question actually. You know, we're going to take a little dive back. Do you like book Jesper or do you like TV Jesper?
I like them both.
I like them both.
Yeah.
Pick.
Fuck. Book Jesper, I think.
You like book Jesper.
But maybe that's just because there's more content. I don't know.
That's true. I think I'm going to go with TV Jesper.
He was really fun. He played
so
a really good
hot.
Jesper.
So fine.
Yes.
So fine. Okay, yeah. No,
That's
okay.
not
So
fair, 'cause I can
if
see
I'm
what he
going
looks
by if I'm going by this, book wise, I think I would pick Wylan. But TV
That's
show
not
wise.
fair. We haven't seen Wylan.
Exactly. So that's why I don't feel guilty about saying that.
God. Nah, I picked Jesper. Either movie
Jesper.
or book. I don't care.
Okay. Kaz and Inej. This is hard. I can't. I feel like I'm literally having bi panic. Like,
Shit.
Kaz is like my literal dream guy, I think.
You should see a therapist.
Oh, yeah,
You
definitely.
considered.
No, Kaz is definitely my dream.
I love it when people
He's
say that, and I'm
emotionally
like,
detached. He doesn't like PDA. He'd call me an investment, so I'd feel like I'm worth something.
That's what we like to hear.
Exactly.
I think I'd pick Kaz.
You'd pick Kaz over Inej.
I think I would.
Inej would take care of you.
Yeah, but like,
Kaz would
and
also
his
not want to
cane.
touch
I
you.
don't care.
Oh, dude, I feel like that's too hard for me. I can't pick.
Actually, you're right. Maybe an
You're
edge.
like, I want to be fucked, and Kaz is not going to do that. He's not going to supply.
I don't know. I'm panicking.
I'm panicking.
I'm stressed.
I would say,
You know what? I would pick an edge because I don't think I could put up with Kaz's attitude for too long.
I could.
I could not. I don't think I could.
Who do you think personality-wise I'm closer to, Inej or Kaz?
Kaz.
Okay, so I have to pick Inej then, because I feel like we'd butt heads. I have a very...
Yeah.
Fine, I pick Inej. Oh, bummer.
It's for the best.
It's for the best. It's for the best.
Who else?
Who else?
Edward
Talk
or
about your
Bella?
darling Carval.
Ooh.
Tella or Scarlet?
Tella.
Tella.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause she's
I
more
think I would
fun.
say the same thing
Scarlett's
too.
Scarlett's too much like me. Too much like gotta follow the rules, gotta, very
You
strict.
are a rule follower,
I am.
aren't you?
I'm so annoying. You saw we're setting up for this podcast. I'm like, we need an outline. We need a plan. And you're like, Jesus,
Yeah, I know. She's like straight up. We need to have an outline. I'm like, we need a script, and you're like, no,
Yes.
we absolutely
We need a
this. And
plan.
I'm like, no. This has got to be organic. We got to just talk. Editing this is going to be a nightmare.
Who says I'm editing this?
What about Legend or Jack?
I knew
Jax.
I knew you would ask. Fuck.
I
don't
know my answer.
They both have bad attitudes. I know your answer would be Jax.
Yes, ma'am.
But Legend's so cool.
Legend is,
And like, what if you're not Jax's true love and his heart doesn't beat for you?
but I would be in the scenario you would be.
Oh, okay. So like in this scenario,
In
like
the
Legend
scenario,
would,
you're like each of these characters one true love.
shit. I hate this situation. This was easier when we thought we would play Fuck, Marry, Kill.
I
because I
know.
would have killed Tella, married Legend, and fucked Jax.
No, but it's smash or pass, ma'am. You're
Damn
gonna
it.
pass on one. You're gonna break one of those beautiful boys' hearts.
One of them doesn't have a heart.
You're gonna smash it.
Shit. No!
The amount of panic on her face right now.
They're my favorite. They're like the top 2.
They're top two, even above Monsieur Castile.
Yeah.
What about Nyctos?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my next one. Nyctos or Castile.
You, dude. Okay.
See, it's way easier to play this game with you and make you panic because I
that's
don't
not
have that many
fair.
people.
You don't care. No. Okay. I'd pick Jax.
I pick Jax.
Maybe.
Goodbye,
Jax.
Legend. Into the trash for you.
But I love him. He's all tatted.
Imagine his heartbroken eyes.
He doesn't feel shit.
That's true. But you're his one true love, so you probably would go and cry.
Shut.
You would break his little heart.
Why are you doing this? I'm gonna cry myself to sleep.
Okay, Castile or Nyctos?
Nyctos.
That
That's
was
a controversial
fast.
opinion, and I
Controversial.
stand by that shit. 100%.
Wow.
Shadow in the Ember was just very good. I just like him as a he has his values and he doesn't fuck with them. Like no one else comes between him and his values.
Not even you?
No.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's right.
You like the morals.
I do.
All right.
Castile doesn't have any.
I'd
But
pick
he's
Castile.
dedicated. You haven't.
I haven't read Nyctos. I don't know anything about
that.
that book, so I'm going to pick Castile.
This isn't fair because I can't think of like characters that you would like panic over the way
Yeah,
I
there's
just
no
did.
one.
Jesus. The closest was like Kaz and Inej. Kaz or Nikolai.
Kaz.
Fuck. Daddy Darkling or Nikolai?
Oh,
Silence is
shit.
deafening.
Wait. Are we doing book Darkling?
I
Or
don't give a shit.
because the answer changes.
Okay.
If we're going by the TV show, then definitely Daddy Darkling.
Yeah, okay,
'cause-
we can't go by the TV show because that's cheating.
Okay, then if I the book, then Nikolai.
Is it because of morals or just because you picture him
I
sexier?
mean, I
Be
like
honest.
Nikolai. I think he's written better. I like his idea. Again, he's a man of morals, a man of ideals.
Daddy Darkling or Kaz?
Kaz.
Book and movie?
Oh, yeah. Freddie is fine.
Thought I had you.
You don't got me, girl.
There's nothing. Like,
You know
there's
what's a
not
good one?
What?
Will Herondale or Kaz Brecker? That would be a question.
Really?
Yeah. I love them both.
Okay. Who?
Oh,
There's only one right answer. By the way.
I can't. It's too hard.
There's a right answer.
There's a right answer.
Yeah, 100%.
Will Herondale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's a perfect husband.
Would you pick him over Jem?
Yes.
Everyone does.
No. Okay. So like genuinely, I think that is one of the only times I have read a love triangle that was perfectly done.
Really?
Where each person loved each other. And when like the choice came, it was fucking heartbreaking.
Want to know what my perfect love triangle was?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was Edward, Bella, and Jacob.
Oh my fucking God. Do you love the part in at the end of Breaking Dawn when Jacob's like, so should I call you dad?
This is the best part.
Oh my
Ew. God.
All right. Well, I think we've been ranting at each other for quite a
Good
while
long
now.
while now.
Yeah. Good luck editing this, by the way.
I'm not looking forward to it. Who says I'm even going to?
Well, thank you so much for listening to our absolutely chaotic,
Our absolutely
where we just
chaotic
basically took a
podcast.
shit on the romance,
romance
genre. No,
genre.
guys, we know like romance is great, and I'm glad if you really enjoy it. And if you guys have any recommendations, you know, like please tell me, because I would actually like to read a romance book
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
captures my attention.
Because we don't have any recommendations for you.
No, we honestly
even one.
don't. Okay, this is my one and only recommendation for you guys. I read it and I didn't hate it. I liked The Love Hypothesis
I still
by
have
Ali
yet to read
Hazelwood.
it.
I recommend it. It was fun. It was
Isn't there like a chapter and a half of smut?
There's a chapter and a half of sex.
Did you audiobook it?
Yeah, I did. Just doing my makeup and hearing about smut.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I recommend that book. I think if you are the kind of person who identifies with us and like romance isn't really like your super thing, it's a fun it's kind of like a rom-com, but like it's not. I would say like the characters are pretty fleshed out and there's not as many like really harmful, problematic aspects to it. So that's my recommendation for you guys.
I'll have to read that. I don't have one.
No, she doesn't have one. All
right. Well, like Colleen Hoover.
That's how we're going to close out the podcast.
All right. That's our show. Be sure to rate us. You can find us on Instagram at Chaotically Bookish Podcasts. You can find me on Instagram at Ashes Reads and on TikTok as well.
You can also find me on TikTok at Many Weathered Pages. I do not have a booksta. I quit that shit.
So fast. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Yeah, where we talk about something even equally chaotic. Thanks, guys.
Twilight in there, too. Thanks, guys. Bye.